You're listening to Arirang Radio's Wonders of Jeju. This is a segment where we tell you about the lives of people living right here on the island. I'm your host, Jamie Lee. This is Humans of Jeju. Welcome into the studio, Jay.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, everyone. Yes.
It's good to have you in
Happy
the studio.
Thursday.
I hear a little bit of a nasal sound today, though.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people are catching cold, so we've got to be a little careful, right?
Yes, everybody should be careful.
Yeah, all right. Well, it's good to see you. And since it's Thursday, it's now that day where we get to learn about a new human of Jeju. So who do you have for us today?
So we have a lot of stories to share today.
Oh, is that so?
So should we go right into listening to today's human of Jeju?
Let's dive in.
안녕하세요. 제주시 구자읍 평대리에서 농사도 짓고 하고 싶은 일을 하며 살아가고 있는 프로젝트 그룹 짓다의 비나입니다.
Okay, what was that about? That was a little
short and brief. How nice was that?
Very.
But I will add on to it.
Okay.
So today's human of Jeju is someone who farms in the village called Pyeongdaeri of Gujaub area, and also lives her life by enjoying doing the things that she wants to do. She's one of the three representatives of the project group called Jitda.
Okay.
And she goes by the name Vina. All three representatives of the group use nicknames so that they can treat each other equally. And the nicknames of the other two members are Yunda and Sol. They have meanings behind their nicknames. Vina represents the energy of land in the Indian mythology. Yunda means wanting to open her heart widely. And Sol's nickname was made feeling sadness by the disappearing pine trees.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Wow, that is very meaningful indeed. What kind of a community group is Jitda?
Let's first listen again.
프로젝트 그룹 짓다는 일단 이제 중국에서 이제 청년들의 대안학교를 운영했던 그리고 청년들의 대안학교에 참여했던 친구들이 함께 어떻게 하면 좀 한국 사회 그리고 이제 동아시아 사회에서 살아가는 청년들과 재미나게 살아갈 수 있을까를 고민하면서 만들어졌고요. 그러던 와중에 제주에서 청년 대안학교를 운영하게 되면서 지금은 현재 없지만 청년 대안학교를 고민하는 친구들을 또 제주에서 만나게 돼서 한국의 다양한 곳, 뭐 대구, 그다음에 서울, 그리고 이제 뭐 중국에서도 일하고 있었던 친구들이 같이 제주에서 만나게 되면서 시작하게 되었습니다. 좀 더 청년들이 자유롭게 상상의 나래를 펼칠 수 있는 세상을 꿈꾸면서 함께 시작했습니다.
Well, it wasn't quite like easy to understand the full picture right in that one cue, but maybe perhaps as we go through the program we'll get a better, clearer kind of vision. But maybe you can help us out a little bit here.
Yeah, sure. So according to what she mentioned, the group Jitda was initially formed by friends who either operated or participated in alternative school for youth in China. And it was made while pondering on how young people in Korea could live an interesting life. During that time, the members started running an alternative school for youth in Jeju. And as other young people from other regions who shared the same concerns gathered in Jeju, the project group Jitda was established. So this happened in 2017. The group was created with the dream of a world where young people can freely unfold the wings of their imagination. And that's why the group is called Jitda.
Okay, so I guess you can say that the motive of the group Jitda came from education for the youth.
And you're right. Although the three members are now equal members, Sol was the teacher in an alternative school, and Yunda was his student. As for Vina, she also primarily held civic education for young people at the school. And through this connection, the three met. And originally, there were more members in the group Jitda. However, as they went through numerous trials and errors to settle in the rural village in Jeju, they said others kind of left. Also, due to political issues, the alternative school they established in Jeju has now disappeared as well. But the members still created the group Jitda, dreaming of a sustainable youth community.
Oh, I see. Then what kind of activities does group Jitda participate in?
And let's listen first.
Okay.
짓다는 기본적으로 농사를 짓다, 문화를 짓다, 관계를 잇다라는 캐치프레이즈로 활동을 하고 있고요. 그래서 농사를 기반으로 자급자족과 그다음에 기본소득을 만드는 일들을 같이 하고 있고요. 그다음에 문화를 짓다라고 해서 농경문화 관련한 거라던가 아니면 청년들의 문화를 같이 만들어 나가는 프로그램들을 하고 있습니다. 그리고 관계를 잇다에서는 로컬에서 조금 더 많은 친구들을 만나고 싶어서 하는 월간 도시락이라는 매달 한 번씩 매달 마지막 주 토요일에 이루어지는 월간 도시락이라는 소셜 미덕, 진짜 도시락 하나 들고 이렇게 만나서 주제를 가지고 얘기하는 모임과 그 다음에 칸테 식탁이라고 하는 시골 마을에서도 인문학 잔치를 벌여보자 라고 해서 진행하는 프로그램 등이 있습니다. 그리고 수학 페스티벌이라는 걸 통해서 친구들이 농사를 좀 경험하고 싶은데 기회가 없었던 친구들과 만나서 정말 열심히 수학을 하는 프로그램도 진행하고 있습니다.
It's quite different to the other stories that we've been hearing until now, but please explain.
So, according to what she mentioned, the group Jitda is actively engaged in 3 catchphrases. 농사를 짓다, 문화를 짓다, 관계를 잇다, which meaning cultivating farms, building culture, and connecting relationships. First and foremost, the group focuses on farming to be able to provide for themselves and then engage in activities to generate basic income together. Under the concept of building culture, they carry out projects related to farming culture and organize programs where young people can participate in creating culture together. In the aspect of connecting relationships, they organize a monthly event called Monthly Lunchbox. This happens on the last Saturday of each month and is held to meet more friends in local community. At the event, people gather with their own lunchboxes and engage in conversations around special topics. They also hold a program called Kent's Dining Table, which is a humanities feast conducted in the rural village. They say Kent, a philosopher, has never left his own region, yet was able to be well-versed in various subjects because he met and had conversation with many different people in his local community.
I
So, although he never ventured beyond his living area, he was able to learn about the stories from other regions through conversations with numerous friends and contributed to the development of humanities. So inspired by this, the group Jitda planned Kent's Dining Table as an opportunity to gather and discuss about humanities.
Wow.
Lastly, they also have organized a program called Harvest Festival for friends who want to experience farming as well.
Okay, well, some interesting things that are very well connected with Jeju Island. Each program you introduce sounds very meaningful and interesting. It's impressive that they are managing all these programs too. That's a lot. However, you mentioned earlier that despite founding the group in 2017, they went through numerous trials and errors. I'm kind of curious to know what kind of challenges they had faced.
So in 2017, they opened a community pub in Ompyeongri village in Sangsanup area. However, it didn't generate enough revenue and eventually turned out to be a failure. After that, they concluded that creating a platform for young people in Jeju is not easy and it involves significant expenses. So that's how they decided to earn money through farming. Then with that money, they went to China to create a 3-story community center. But it also ended up failing as well because the COVID-19 pandemic started and they were forced to leave China.
Oh boy.
So during such process, some of the members started to leave one by one and eventually they returned to Jeju, considered about what they could do and how they could build a youth community. And that's how they came up with the group and the group was founded.
I see. So despite experiencing multiple failures, it seems like it was their willingness to not give up and, be persistent. And they were able to have the community they have now.
If you are in Jeju,
88.7 in Jeju City,
88.1 in Seogwipo City,
101.9 in the Daejeong area.
Arirang Radio.
So we've been talking about this youth community project group called Jitda and about the interview you had with Representative Vina. So let's continue on. After numerous trials and errors, you were explaining, the group came back to Jeju Island. What happened from there?
So as mentioned earlier, Group Jitda started in 2017 with the goal of creating a community where young people can become self-reliant. However, they experienced attempts and failures for nearly 5 years until 2022. They tried various things even though they felt like they were hitting rock bottom until last year. In 2020, they decided to sell the crops they grow as a sustainable source of income. Also at the time, they were able to establish a corporation as well. Now they have settled in Pyeongdaeri village and have created a farming culture platform called Sonong Road.
Oh, all right. So overcoming all the failures within nearly 5 years, that's a long time. What was their secret behind being able to maintain the community for all those years?
Let's listen to what they said.
청년들이 우르르 다니면 시골 마을에서는 되게 일꾼으로 생각하시는 경향이 크세요. 그래서 노는 일꾼으로 생각하셔서 여기저기에서 불러 모아서 이제 아무 일이나 막 시키시고 밥 한 끼 얻어 먹고 이렇게. 이게 또 약간 이제 로컬살이의 즐거움이기도 하지만 어느 순간 돌아서면 궁핍해진 나를 발견하는 그런 일들이 반복되었었는데요. 저희가 이제 몇 가지 기준을 정하게 됩니다. 첫째, 소모되지 않도록 노력할 것, 지역에서. 그래야 지속 가능하니까. 그다음에 둘째, 나의 성장이 도모될 수 있는 일을 할 것. 그다음에 셋째는 즐겁고 친구를 만날 수 있어야 된다. 그다음에 넷째는 지속 가능하게 그래도 약간의 우리가 한 노동에 대한 정당한 대가는 받아야 된다. 이런 기준을 가지고 이제 임하게 됐어요. 그래서 저희를 지키는 힘을 가지고 이제 올 수 있었는데요.
Okay, please explain what she says.
So in the rural villages in Jeju, they said when young people wander around the village in a group, the elders have a tendency to look at them as workers. So they would gather them, give them work, and share meals with them. While this brings joy to the experience of living locally, but at some points they also discover that they are being undervalued as well. So therefore, they established several principles to ensure that their lives are meaningful. First, they strive not to be overwhelmed by their work. Second, they engage in activities that fosters their personal growth. And third, they create an environment where they can meet friends. And fourth, to sustain themselves, they receive fair compensation for their labor.
I think these 4 things are things that all of us need to do in our lives around the world. It's amazing how simplicity is just, global. So it is through such principles that they are able to maintain such community up to now. Then what led the group to become interested in farming? I was so curious about that. What was the process to become a farmer like too?
And let's listen.
진짜 굶어 죽지는 않을 수 있는 기반이 아닐까? 이런 생각을 해서 농사를 짓게 됐고 먹고 살 수 있는 농작물을 생각해서 감자를 한 거예요. 청년 창업농 같은 그쪽에서는 너는 왜 청년농인데 막 약간 뭐 키위라던가 좀 이렇게 특산품을 안 하고 감자를 하냐 이렇게 하는데 자급자족을 위해서 생각한 거여가지고 그래서 감자를 이렇게 시작을 하게 됐죠. 근데 감자를 하고 농사를 계속 한 3회째 짓다 보니까 주변에서 애들이 계속 망하는데도 농사를 계속 열심히 지는 걸 보면서 너는 뭔데 자꾸 망하는데도 계속 농사를 짓냐? 저는 이제 자기의 수십 년간을 길러왔던 유기농 밭을 내어주시면서 2,500평이었거든요. 거기다가 우리 여름에 농사 안 지니까 감자 심으라고 그래서 갑자기 유기농 농부가 된 거예요. 유기농은 원래 인증이 5년인가 되게 오래 걸려요. 근데 갑자기 유기농 농부가 돼서 저희가 유기농 감자를 2,500평이니까 아무리 망해도 많잖아요, 감자가. 그래서 그거를 팔기 시작했죠. 그래서 그해 12월 1위를 했어요, 네이버 스마트 스토어에서. 그때부터 약간 우리가 뭐지? 이거 먹고 살 수 있겠다. 판매가 돼. 막 이렇게 돼가지고 그러면 농사를 좀 이제 본격적으로 열심히 해볼까? 이렇게 됐었던 게 현재로 이어져서 지금 청년 창업 농부로 농사꾼으로의 길을 이제 걸어가고 있습니다.
It's almost like a miracle. Please explain.
So first of all, the place they settled in is Pyeongdaeri village. It's an area with many farmers, and as the young friends went around the neighborhood, the villagers who needed extra hand called them to work together. They naturally started doing farming work in the neighborhood, and through it, they kind of gained hope that they could sustain themselves through farming as well. And they started to think that if they personally planted and grew crops of their own, they would be able to eat and survive. So with that in mind, they started planting potatoes. In the field of young entrepreneur farmers, it's common for young people to grow special crops like kiwi.
Right.
So the older people in the village were puzzled to why the group Jitda were planting a common crop like potato. They were growing the crop because they said it was mainly for survival. And it's something that, everybody is a common crop for survival. So unfortunately, for 3 years in a row, their farming attempts failed. And people around them began to express concerns for them as well. And people wanting to help the group, a local resident named Uncle Saki, who lived in the same area, offered the group Jitda a plot of organic farmland that was about 2,500 pyong, about 8,264 square meters for the summer, since he did not use the land during the season. And by the way, we'll actually be introducing Uncle Saki for later episodes as well.
Okay,
So-
that'll be awesome. Okay, so I really also was intrigued by the part that they were able to do the, what was it? 유기농.
Yes.
Right. I can't think of the English word suddenly.
Organic?
Organic,
Oh,
right. Right. So they were able to do it organic because they mentioned something about, you had to wait 5 years, but because of the land that was rented to them or given to them, they were able to do organic farmland. So you explained that actually, right?
Right.
Okay, so it's sad to hear that they struggled and faced failure in farming for 3 years. But when hearing Vina's voice, I can sense how positive and cheerful kind of person she is. I guess the samchon들 around the village felt that as well, as was willing to help the group.
You're right. And there were moments of frustration, but the group didn't give up. That was then when the people in the neighborhood started acknowledging them. So they were able to obtain an organic farming land that requires 5 years of cultivation to become such land. And they
exactly.
started growing potatoes again.
Right.
In that year, they harvested organic winter potatoes in December. And without even having to promote the crop separately, it actually became top seller in store. And after experiencing such taste of farming, they gradually became farmers one by one.
That is awesome. It's a happy story that they were still successful after going through so many ups and downs. I cannot believe it. It's like it sounds so difficult what they went through. But Group Jitda does more than just farming, like programs like Kant's dining table that you mentioned earlier. How did they come up with such an idea?
So have you ever heard of Ban Nong and Ban X?
Not really. Is that something like half farming, half X? What does X mean, by the way, other than farming?
So you're very close. It's a concept that originated in Japan a long time ago, but nowadays young farmers in Korea are also embracing it. They aim for self-sufficiency based on farming, but in their non-farming time, they engage in various activities with the motto, live in a way that suits you.
Oh, I like it.
So Group Jitda during non-farming times gathers people to share each other's concerns and communicate while engaging in diverse activities within the community. So according to Vina, it's difficult to approach young people and tell them to become farmers. But by introducing the concept of Ban Nong and Ban X and showing young people that they can enjoy doing what they love while they farm as well, it creates opportunities for them to enter farming more easily.
Oh, I see. So it's like you farm, but you're not just a farmer full time. You're like a half-time farmer. It's a fantastic idea. And I think it's great that young people are diving into this lifestyle.
Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Estamos escuchando Arirang Radio desde Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Where are you listening from? Let us know. Leave it at arirangradio.com.
I'm interested to hear more about this wonderful group. Tell us more, please.
So as they started farming, they began to realize how important it is to harvest food. First of all, by producing food, you avoid starving to death.
Right.
And secondly, they mentioned farming in rural Jeju area allows for better communication with the locals as well.
Yeah.
When they met elderly people, they talk about where they farm and exchange information. Additionally, during the harvest season, they organize a harvest festival and invite people over. It's a festival where individuals from urban areas and young friends gather together to take part in the harvest and personally experience the cycle of the ecosystem. They said that such festivals foster strong bonds among participants as they go through the difficult work of harvest together. And she even laughed when she said some even choose to leave because the work is so hard. So when they're enjoying the festival together, they do build strong bond because it's a hard work and you do it all together. But there are people who eventually leave because it's so hard as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's being really honest, right? And that probably is the case. So yeah, but in overall, she seems like a very delightful person. And I think I understand what she means. So what she means is that there's nothing we can do about those who leave because of the hard work. But those who do remain, I actually believe that they'll build an even stronger community through such bond that is kind of created. And I think it's a great idea to have this festival, especially for the young people who might not have too much experience in farming.
Also, as for herself, she mentioned through participating in the harvest festival and engaging in various farming activities with different people, she developed an interest in issues such as like climate crisis and ecological issues as well. Last year, she mentioned all the carrot seeds were washed away by the typhoon. And after that, they experienced a 3-week of drought.
That's so hard.
Yes, and during that period, they had to haul 25 tons of water every day. And experiencing such situations sparked her interest in ecology. And currently, she has formed an ecological community with 7 diverse young individuals as well.
Wow, what an entrepreneur. So it seems her areas of interest expand as she engages in farming more and more.
So she considers agriculture as her mentor and a guiding light. Currently, they are producing carrots and potatoes, and she mentioned that about 70% of the national carrot production comes from Jeju. And with 90% of that being produced in Kuja area. Also, they've been operating a store called Sonong Road in the Pyeongdaeri village since last year. And they directly sell a variety of food products made from their own crops as well.
Wow.
So Sonong means farming on a small scale. And this is the form of agriculture pursued by the group.
Okay.
Currently, they have become independent from the previously mentioned 2,500 pyong of Uncle Seokhee's land and continue to farm in other lands near Pyeongdaeri village, transitioning to organic farming as well.
I love the idea. You know, it seems they are constantly taking on new challenges too.
So their challenges continue. And recently, they visited a community group called Park Jeong-suk in Chiang Mai City in Thailand.
Really? Okay. Tell us about that.
The community was started by 8 artists, and now they host around 30 teams. They operate a large-scale space where each person has their own shop on the first floor and a living area on the second floor. The group Jitda visited them wanting to create such community on Jeju Island. They even had the opportunity to meet with someone who had been active in the group for a long time and got to ask the question, what do you consider important in a community? And can you guess what the answer was?
What is the most important thing in a community? What could it be?
So the person who had been active in Park Jeong-suk for the longest time said that the most important role in a community is the role of cleaning.
The role of cleaning, really? Okay, it's a very important role indeed.
So they consider cleaning as the crucial aspect of sustaining the community, as it is a process that requires individuals to pour in their own strength and energy into it. And Group Jitda also agreed with the statement and believes that cleaning and maintaining the living environment are truly important as well.
Yeah, especially for the environment, isn't it? It's so important to keep our environment clean. So cleaning and maintaining, that sounds like something that is important even in a small scale group like a household. All right, then last question that we love to ask our human of Jeju. Where was the place on Jeju Island that Vina recommends for our listeners to visit when they are here in Jeju Island?
So let's listen.
흑룡말리를 소개하고 싶습니다. 저희가 농사를 시작하기 전에 더 먼저 했었던 건 돌을 쌓는 일이었어요. 근데 돌을 쌓는 사람을 제주에서는 돌챙이라고 부르고, 사실 요즘에는 너무 무거운 돌을 들어 나가야 되기 때문에 힘드니까 좀 무시하는, 경시하는 경향도 없지 않은 직업군인데, 근데 농사를 짓는다는 건 원래 제주에서는 돌을 쌓아 올리는 것부터 시작하는 일이었다고 해요. 왜냐면 제주도는 돌이 너무 많아서, 현재 제가 알기로는 밭담이 이제 문화재로 뭐 지정되는 움직임도 있다. 그래서 밭담 축제 뭐 이런 것도 하고 막 그랬더라고요. 근데 그 밭담의 풍경을 한눈에 쫙 하고 서서 볼 수 있는 곳이 바로 이 구자읍 일대거든요. 월정리, 그다음에 여기 평대리, 요 곳에 오시면 끊임없이 이어져 있는 돌담 풍경을 보실 수 있으세요.
Okay, could you explain where she recommends?
So she recommended the Hungryong Manli Patdam, which is the stone wall landscape that can be seen in the Gujaup area. They say that the Jeju stone walls are estimated to have a total length of over 20,000 kilometers. And they are called Hungryong Manli because of the winding and stacked appearance of the black basalt rocks.
Okay.
And according to her, before starting farming, the group Jitda members also worked on stacking stones, which was an initial job originally in the beginning of farming in Jeju. There are so many stones on Jeju Island that there's even a saying that the stones grow on the ground. So in ancient Jeju, the task of stacking stones was considered an important job. Currently, efforts are being made to designate the stone walls as cultural heritage, and even Stonewall Festival is being held in Jeju Island. So she recommended this landscape in Gujaup area, especially the view where the stone walls spread out in Worjeongli and Pyeongdaeri area.
Okay, that's interesting. What a cute comment how the stones here on Jeju Island grow on the ground. It could be that the rainfalls that we have, like the typhoons and the rainfalls that we have, when the water comes down, the water makes the stones grow.
Wow. I'll look into that. Yes.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for such an interesting introduction to the new projects that the group Jitda is doing. Let's look forward to all of their future going projects. And I wish the best for this community as well, the community that they're leading. And Jay, thank you so much for your introduction to today's Human of Jeju.
Oh, thank you for listening.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that segment. If you're curious to find out more about Jeju, we encourage you to go check out our website at arirangradio.com. Or you can check out our Facebook page at The Wonders of Jeju, as well as our Instagram account with the handle at WOJ_Arirang. We're going to take you on a journey to learn more about what's happening here on the island.